Nigel.cecil, calling things out as you like it, especially for his fair-minded friends.
Chakabatis, it's all happening here in Marrakesh. Even the drummers have come to welcome us. Enjoy. So Equity get legal advice presented to the council. The number of members involved out of 46,000 were, wait for this one, around. But we don't assume we're always right, but we're endeavouring Nigel to represent the views of our fair-minded and equitable friends. Recollections may sometimes vary, but we do try, endeavour to do our best. Hello Chakabatis, welcome. Thank you for joining me, Nigel.cecil, along with my very good friend Hilary, fortunate enough to be in a much warmer place. So we hope it's tickety-boo, hunky-dory with you as well, wherever you are. But now you've joined us, on behalf of our fair-minded and equitable friends, here's a disclaimer. Along with all our friends, many of whom are members of Equity. Equity, the trade union for professional actors, variety, entertainers and other creatives across the United Kingdom. A disclaimer. We don't assume that we are right in everything we say. Our experiences about Equity in particular are based on the fact that many of you are former officers of Equity, long-serving members of the Equity Council. And amongst you all, there's a broad range of opinions and experiences across the whole political spectrum. If we were to sort of assess things, we'd say some of you were right-wing, whatever right-wing means. We'd say some of you were left-wing, whatever left-wing means. And some of you, well, you're in the middle, don't know and don't care. But the one thing we've always learned as members of Equity, that showbiz always challenges politics, arts and culture. It challenges boundaries. But when it comes to equity and representing our members, walk through HQ doors at Guild House, and political considerations, especially those that can be considered as sort of ideological, are set to one side. Because the ultimate thing has always been to put the professional interests of members first and foremost. So with that disclaimer that we don't assume we're always right, but we're endeavouring Nigel to represent the views of our fair-minded and equitable friends, recollections may sometimes vary. But we do try, endeavour to do our best. Where are we now? We look at what Equity is doing now and what it used to do years ago, when it really was, well, non-party political and non-sectarian, and acclaimed the right of all members equally and fairly to promote their views and opinions in a professional manner, in a professional way, both in their private and personal capacity. But the reason we started this channel is because some members are saying, Nigel, we're afraid of being cancelled, aren't they, Hilary? Putting our head above the parapet and saying, we don't actually agree now with what the council are doing. So what's changed? The rule book has changed dramatically, not all that long ago, a few years ago, when the Equity Council said to the members, we're going to rewrite it, just a little bit of tinkering here and there, to make it a rule book fit for the modern society, modern trade unionism, making it simple to understand. And of course, we'll consult with the members. We'll undertake the biggest consultation ever undertaken by equity in accordance with the rules. Now, some of the more experienced members of equity said, no. We think you're going to pull a bit of a flanker here. You're going to rush through a rule book. No, we're not. Yes, you are. We're going to petition for a special representative conference to discuss everything. No. We are undertaking the biggest consultation ever, said equity. So they rebuffed the calls for a special representative conference. And what happened? This biggest consultation ever took place, and it's fair to say the number of members involved out of 46,000 were, wait for this one, around 70. 70 members, some of whom were double bubbling. But equity presented the results to the membership as consultation undertaken with the biggest consultation possible. And then the rule book was put to referendum. Very few voted, and many didn't really know what they were voting for. So you've got where you are today, and rules like non-party political, non-sectarian, free to express your own professional opinion in your private and personal capacity, gone. And indeed, a lot of the interpretation now can depend on the equality law. I mean, come on, it's a lawyer's minefield. And the ability to, join with other organisations. Again, a minefield, especially when you look at equities, aims and objects. So you have said, Nigel, what about the current protests? What is going on? Can't you complain? On our behalf, can't anyone complain? And the answer is, realistically, unless you've got thousands of pounds, no. You wouldn't waste your money, because there's one thing when it comes to interpretation of the rules and what equity can or can't do. Equity's got members' money to say, we're going to get legal advice from a leading barrister to say we can do this. And guess what? Once they've got their legal advice, and all of us who've any knowledge of the law knows, well, you ask the right questions and you get legal advice to support what you want to do. So equity get legal advice presented to the council, and it would be a foolish member of the council who argues against that legal advice. So they go along with it, understandably. But say you as an ordinary member want to challenge it, well, unless you've got legal advice, can demonstrate it's from a similar high barrister, KC standard, and who's going to pay any attention to what you are saying? Because equity's bound to follow the legal advice it's got on behalf of their members, spending members' money. But let's say you think, well, our legal advice is correct. If it went to court, our argument would win. Well, where are you going to get the money to go to court? I mean, what's going to happen? What are you going to do? If you've got thousands of pounds, and what happens if equity were to lose? Are they in the wrong? No, they're not in the wrong, because they've followed professional legal advice. And if it turns out that professional legal advice cannot be sustained when challenged in court, it's not equity's problem, is it, Hilary? No, because they're bound to follow it. So you've just now spent fortunes. I mean, when you think about it all, Hilary, you as an ordinary member have spent fortunes challenging equity. You know they are wrong, but tough as they would say. But what happens if equity decides to challenge that ruling using members' money, your money? Well, it would go on and on and on, and you could be into thousands. And the judge, when it comes to the appeal or whatever, who knows when you're going to be awarded costs? So who would risk it? So you're saying, Nigel, do you complain on our behalf so the push comes to the shove? Last week, on your behalf, we sent this letter to Equity about their involvement in the issue, the tragic, distressing issue of Israel, Gaza and Palestine. And we ask the question on your behalf, is this an issue where the General Secretary of Equity should represent all members, comrades in solidarity, and speak at that protest march? Or is that extending the elasticity of equity being involved too far? Have a look at the letter. Have we had a reply, Hilary? Well, even if we get a reply, I don't think we can publish it because it will probably be breaching confidentiality. But what do you think? If Equity has got legal advice spending your money and it results in something with which you don't agree, where does that leave you? Where does it leave the ordinary member? Please let us know what you think, because as always, we endeavour to reflect your views on your behalf, because we do know that some of you are not very happy to put your head above the parapet and challenge what the Equity Council are doing. But when it comes to us, Hilary, well, it's creativity, it's fun. And if someone wants to cancel moi, yes, thank you, said that bird screeching. We were cancelled many years ago. So please, join us again and let us know what you think. And I suppose this time we'd better say, be lucky one and all. Bye for now.
Reboot Equity. Your opportunity is coming to reboot equity. Put the smile back into equity and our profession. Reboot Equity.